The concept of the devil wanting to keep Christians poor is rooted in the spiritual realm, where a constant battle between good and evil is waged. According to biblical teachings, Satan, also known as the devil, is the adversary of God and seeks to undermine his plans and purposes. One of the primary ways the devil accomplishes this is by manipulating the circumstances of Christians, including their financial situations, to keep them in a state of poverty and lack. The Bible teaches that the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but Jesus came to give life in abundance, John 10:10. The devil's strategy is to hinder Christians from experiencing the abundant life that Jesus has provided, and one of the most effective ways to do this is by keeping them in poverty. When Christians are struggling financially, they are more likely to be anxious, stressed, and distracted from their spiritual pursuits. The devil uses poverty as a tool to divert Christians' attention away from their faith and onto their financial struggles, making it more challenging for them to focus on their relationship with God. Moreover, poverty can lead to a sense of hopelessness and despair, causing Christians to doubt God's goodness and provision. The devil takes advantage of these emotions, whispering lies and half-truths into the ears of believers, making them question God's love and care for them. As a result, many Christians become disheartened and disillusioned, losing faith in God's ability to provide for their needs. This is precisely what the devil wants to erode the faith of Christians and make them doubt the goodness of God. The devil also uses poverty to limit the influence and effectiveness of Christians in the world. When Christians are financially struggling, they are less likely to be able to give generously to support missions, charities, and other ministries. This, in turn, hinders the spread of the gospel and the advancement of God's kingdom. The devil is well aware that generous giving is a key aspect of Christian living, and by keeping Christians poor, he can reduce their ability to make a meaningful impact in the world. Furthermore, the devil often uses deception and manipulation to keep Christians in poverty. He may convince them that they are not worthy of financial blessing or that they must earn God's favor through their own efforts. This can lead to a performance-based mindset, where Christians believe that their financial situation is a direct result of their own merits, rather than a manifestation of God's grace and provision. The devil also uses societal and cultural pressures to keep Christians in poverty, perpetuating the myth that wealth and material possessions are evil or that Christians should be content with living in poverty. In contrast, the Bible teaches that God desires for his people to prosper and thrive financially. The book of Deuteronomy states that God will bless his people and make them prosperous if they obey his commands and follow his ways, Deuteronomy 28:1-14. The Apostle Paul wrote that God is able to make all grace abound towards Christians so that they will have all sufficiency in all things and abound in every good work, 2 Corinthians 9:8. The devil, however, seeks to thwart this plan by keeping Christians in poverty and limiting their ability to experience God's abundant provision. In conclusion, the devil wants to keep Christians poor as a means of hindering their spiritual growth, limiting their influence in the world, and undermining their faith in God's goodness and provision. By manipulating circumstances, deceiving minds, and using societal pressures, the devil seeks to keep Christians in a state of financial lack and poverty. However, Christians can overcome this by trusting in God's promises, living in obedience to his word, and seeking to understand the devil's strategies and tactics. As Christians, we must recognize the devil's schemes and instead choose to trust in God's abundant provision, knowing that he desires for us to prosper and thrive in all areas of life, including our finances.